What up, y'all? If you clicked on this video, it's probably because you feel that you're behind in life in your social skills, or you just want to get better, or maybe you're, looking for something videos like this for a friend, or your child. But either way, I know that feeling, like a feeling behind in social abilities. Personally, for me, I'm actually like, I guess what they call high on the autism spectrum, or however they describe it. So, I've known that feeling of feeling behind. And a few years ago, I became a lot more interested in communication, and now I like to study it. I like to learn just how to interact with anybody, with women or with just coworkers, strangers, and I try to pay attention to this stuff. And I want to give a guide for what I believe you can do to actually streamline, getting better, and actually, in many ways, getting better than a lot of people in general. And I don't know why you feel behind. You might not be, or you might be. Maybe because of social anxiety, you avoided a lot of people. Maybe because you're on the spectrum too, and that's why you just feel like you didn't, you're not ahead. Maybe you had some sort of situation in childhood that prevented you from getting a lot of social in, or something like that. But I want to start with this. So that actually is one thing that I want to mention, is that you do need to figure out if you're on the spectrum, or if you're neurodivergent, if you have ADHD or something like that, because that is going to be your basis. Like, if you're neurodivergent, you're probably going to think differently, and then there's going to be ways that you're going to have to learn how to interact with people who are more neurotypical, and ways that may not be as obvious to you, or ways that you're different than them, that you're going to have to learn. And this isn't like I'm not going to get into a lot of detail in this video. This is more like the route. I'm showing you the route. So if you think you are, then I suggest buying some books on neurodivergent. There's one book on autism. It's very good. It's very simple. It's called Field Guide to Earthlings. It has a longer title, but that's like the main part of the title, Field Guide to Earthlings. And that book is like super good if you like are on the spectrum and want to learn communication with others, or learn differences between you and them. It's a very simple read, so I suggest starting there. If you're more neurotypical, I think you probably just need more exposure, and then you'll start picking up your communication skills naturally. But that's a very good basis. You need to know whether you're neurodivergent or not, okay? So after that, you're gonna want to start consuming information on communication, right? So this can be YouTube videos, books, articles. You just need to consume. And there's so many channels. Like, one YouTube channel I really like is How Communication Works. That guy is a professor in the US, teaches communication. There's many other books. I got one. Oh, it's over there. I haven't even started reading it yet, but it's called like Emotional Intelligence. And I just read, and consume. And I promise you, the average person is not doing that. So you can get ahead, right? And there's many channels on dating. There's many books on dating. You might have to go down the rabbit hole. That's another part of this video, is like, if you want to learn anything in life, you have to go down the rabbit hole. This means that you're going to have to learn things that you're later going to think are stupid. You're later going to not agree with it. You're later going to think that, oh man, I was really off track. If you really want to, guarantee that you be most on track, then I recommend like Christian resources. But if you want to go down the rabbit hole, you can. I don't recommend, if you're learning about dating, to go down a super red pill dating, type of mindset, because you'll probably just end up angry. You need more balance, but learn everything and go down the rabbit hole, right? Okay, the third tip I want to give you is, if you can, get uh, a retail job where you can interact with people, right? This doesn't mean that has to be your main job. It just means that if you can land 10 hours a week being a waiter, or 10 hours a week as a cashier, just try to get that, or do full time if you can. And this is a place where you can interact with strangers every single day who you're never going to see again, and you can test out various, ideas and mindsets, and see if you can connect with people in a short amount of time, like in 30 seconds or in 5 minutes. And you can learn little phrases and how you can keep the customer smiling, or how you can, deal with a conflict. Like, you'll have tons of these opportunities, and you can make friends with some customers, right? Like, that's what I did. I was like, I've had different retail jobs, working grocery stores, that type of thing, and it can really help. um and then it's like, if you want to even practice chatting with women like a little bit, then you can do that. Maybe you got to be careful not to ask them out because it's your work, but you can practice, and you can even get to know like some married women too, and maybe come in with their husband and chat it up with the whole family, and just learn how to talk to people, right? Just learn how to talk to people, because this type of place is a captive audience, right? You need environments that are semi-captive audiences, so you can just chat with people and they don't really have anywhere to go. I mean, that sounds kind of wrong, but uh, if you're a cashier or something like that, you can talk to the customer for 1 minute and they don't really have anywhere to go, so you can practice. So yeah. Okay. Kind of all over the place with this list, but the next thing you're gonna want to do is, you're gonna want to utilize certain message boards like Reddit. There's r/social skills. It doesn't mean you're gonna get the best advice ever, and a lot of people on the r/social skills are also struggling. But sometimes you can get some great advice, and at the very least, you can get references to certain ideas or books, or different types of concepts or phrases, right? So you can do that and learn, like, and read Quora too. I like to read through Quora, on Quora.com, I think it's called. People just ask questions about social skills, and they just, other people answer, and you can read through that. Or there's even WikiHow, I think. WikiHow is pretty good too. They break things down in communication, how to ask out a girl, how to ask for a raise, how to talk with a stranger, that type of thing, right? Okay, the next thing I would say is that you should get a therapist, right? If you're struggling with your communication skills, try to get a therapist, because they can help you in your life, and also it help you with your emotions. And when your emotions feel good, then you will communicate better. Like, if you feel more free in life, then you'll be more expressive, and you can talk to people easier. So it's not just that, but it's also just having overall good health, right? Then you'll feel better and you'll communicate better. A therapist can also teach you scripts, and that's like a big point that I want to make, is that you should be observing in general scripts. Like, this is how people talk in certain situations. So what I've noticed is that people say the same things a lot of the time in different situations. For example, if something bad happens to somebody, I usually say, "Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you." Just one sentence, because I learned that script. I copied that from people. You just say, "Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you." If someone passed away, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss." You just say that, "Oh, I'm sorry for this." That works like in almost every situation. So these are little scripts that can go in different situations, and if you can just remember them, then you can do well. Okay? These scripts can be taken from anywhere. Movies, you can overhear people on the train talking, but movies is a really good one. If you see something from a movie, you can be like, "Oh, that main character said that at that time." Right? So you can take that script and try to put it in another situation, right? um Journaling, yeah, journaling and reflecting. You definitely want to, I really recommend journaling and reflecting just on things you've learned, and just always take notes. If you have ideas, take notes in your phone. Go to the notes page in your phone and just write down ideas, and you can ask your therapist about this, right? Um oh, another point I want to make is to learn a language. The reason why you want to learn another language is because this is going to force you to not only like observe the video cut off right there. The next thing I want to say is that you need a team of people. Like, you need somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. It could be your mom, your dad, your older brother who's better at socializing, but you need somebody who you can call, like, especially if it's like last minute, like you just spoke with a girl and like you think you made a mistake and you need some reflection so that you can like text her real quick or whatever. You need somebody like that that you can call, like, or a group chat or something like that. Somebody that likes to talk about these things or is willing to be your like help, especially if they can get back to you quickly. Let's also say, yeah, if you have, choose some friends that are pretty good at socializing. But I mean, personally, I'd recommend, I mean, choose friends that you're comfortable around. So maybe sometimes it can be even better to be around people who are a little bit more shy or socially anxious. Choosing those people as your friends, so at least you are comfortable in that way. But I totally didn't realize that when the video when the video cut off, I was talking about learning a language. So yeah, when you learn a language, it forces you to a new language, it forces you to learn the culture, right? So then you start doing cross comparative, like, cross comparing your culture with theirs, and in that you learn a lot. You become conscious of your own culture and communication style, and like that's extremely important. Like for me, I study Japanese, and I feel like that really helped me understand communication better because I was able to compare, right? And then if you start buying books on learning that culture, like for me, when I traveled to Korea, I bought a book on Korean culture. I don't learn Korean, but I at least bought that book, so I was able to understand Korean culture, to some extent, and I was able to reflect back on my own culture and try to understand. So that's gonna help you a lot. Um, Dressing better is good too. If you understand that communication is like everything, right? And understanding body language. So look at how people stand, look at how people do things, and you'll kind of learn that same type of body language or way of dressing, right? Oh, another point I didn't mention is actually talking with chat bots. So like chat bots can actually be very helpful. I had a friend who introduced me to some chat bot. I can't remember what it was, but I ended up also having one, or like knowing one a while back. I also forgot the name of it, but I used to, text it. I would literally ask it advice. How do I explain something to somebody? How do I ask out this girl if blah blah blah? And it will answer, and sometimes the advice is not that bad. So utilizing chatbots can actually be extremely helpful, right? Another point, take your headphones out. Like when you're in public or when you're in a setting or anything like that, you need to take your headphones out. If you want to learn, like, chat with more people, you got to take that out. And a lot of time I feel like, you got your headphones in because you have social anxiety, and you're justifying not talking to other people by listening to your music. It's like, dude, do you really want to listen to that same song that you already heard like a million times, or do you want an opportunity to talk to somebody? If you're working on your social skills, then you got to be looking for opportunities. If you're zoned out with your headphones on and you're on your phone on the bus just tapping away or whatever, you're not going to notice an opportunity. You're not going to notice that someone sat down and smiled at you. You're not going to notice that somebody sat down that has the pair of shoes that you want to buy, that you could chat with them about. You're not going to notice those things. So yeah, it's like you got to notice. And right. Another thing I want to say is that utilize chatting with workers, such as bartenders. So this is the opposite, right? At first I tell you to get a retail job or a job in service or hospitality or whatever. But now I'm saying to utilize chatting with workers, right? If you go to a bar and you sit at the bar, the bartender is going to be there. So sometimes you can go to a bar that doesn't have that many people and utilize chatting with them. Like, don't be, if it's a woman, don't like be hitting on them too much. Just be chill. But you can utilize chatting with the bartender. Oh, how's your day going? You doing anything fun this summer? And that person is just sitting there, so it's like they're not gonna be able to leave. So it's like chat and watch their reaction. Always chat and watch people's reaction, not based off things you say. Okay, maybe you say something and then see how their vibe is 30 seconds from there, and then reflect back, okay, what did I say 30 seconds ago that changed their vibe or whatever, right? And really, I feel like our social skills don't have to be that good. It's just, we're just trying to get better, right? Just be better than the day before. And it's all about filling those little holes. Like, if you can like fix one mistake per day, one little mistake, right? Then you can be better the next day. And yeah, I also think a lot of socializing has to do with focus. Like, if you stay focused, then you won't miss certain details, right? If you're always anxious, then you're gonna miss certain details. You're gonna miss certain parts of the conversation because you're so stressed out. So that's another part, is just learning how to calm down so that you can know where the conversation is. You didn't miss pieces of it, right? And yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I want to say. I guess one more thing I could say is, like, if you're really interested in bettering your communication skills, then go into a field that is related to that. Like, study communication or marketing or sales or something in your college, in school, or go into sales like as your actual career, so you can better your communication skills. And like yeah, if you need friends, I would also just recommend going to a church. They're pretty inclusive, and you can be part of a Bible study, etc. So yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. I don't know if there's anything else I can say on here. Could also say to cold approach women, if you're a man watching this. If you're a woman, I don't know if you want to cold approach men. That might be kind of weird. But you can, and the reason is because you'll get a lot of short interactions, so you can test certain ideas from the start and see if it works. And like, you can have a lot to reflect on because it's a quick paced type of interaction. So you're gonna make some mistakes here and there. I guess texting too. Learn how to text, because that's a whole nother thing. So test out certain text messages, different emojis. Maybe you don't want to use emojis. Maybe you don't want to message that much. Maybe you got to keep your messages shorter because you have a habit of writing too long. But it's all really just reflection, right? And yeah, with that saying, put in a couple years of work, and I'm putting in that work every day because I'm interested in it. So yeah, this is the guide of how to get better with your communication skills. And I believe in it. I believe in you. And I believe that we can all keep getting better. All right. Have a good day, y'all. Peace out.